Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Hope you had a great week this past week as the market gave us plenty of opportunities to capitalize on. In this video, I want to talk about my analysis for gold, and I'll be starting up with the weekly time frame and work my way down to the 4-hour time frame. Then I'll talk about my analysis for Euro USD, GBP USD, and Gbpjpy. So with gold, from the weekly time frame, you can see that this past week was strongly bearish, and forming this very strong candle, breaking this level here around the 1680 and coming back down as well, and we expect price to get towards the 1615 area. Also looking at the weekly time frame, we can see that price is in this very strong downtrend, and you can see the bounce off the trend line multiple times as well. That is, you can see it here. So this is the first one here, and then you can see again when price bounced off that level there, and then thirdly you can see it bouncing off there again, as well as that resistance level. So and that's looking at the weekly time frame. Next, if we go down to the daily time frame, so on the daily time frame, we can see what's been happening. Price making these lower lows and lower highs as well. So price failed to break this previous high, bounced off the trend line, and continued to the downside. So in my last week's video, I talked about two possible things that could happen with gold. I said gold could bounce off from this area here, right? That's around the 1680 area, or price could break that 1680 area and continue to the downside, and the latter is what happened. Price broke that area strongly. You can see the strong candlestick pattern here that broke that area, and then continued its move to the downside. All right, and you can see that I was able to capitalize on that break of that level. So if price had gotten to this level and given us a bullish signal, for example, I would have taken my buy trade, and then meaning that that inverse head of shoulder pattern that I mentioned earlier would have happened. But because price didn't give us any reversal patterns here, rather it broke through that 1680 area, I was able to enter into the market immediately, and currently around 230 pips in profit. We're targeting around 500 pips in total. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see what's been happening as well. We can see the break and price coming back to retest that area, then giving us this bullish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, and price came back up into that area again before continuing downwards. Now, what's happening? What I would say is, for you to trade this, if you're going to trade it, say on as a day trader, or even as a swing trader, because we still have about 200 or 300 pips move before price gets down to the 1615 area. What we can identify on the 4-hour time frame is that there is a sort of level here, okay, where price is at the moment. Okay, so if we manage to break that area here to the downside, then we should be looking to enter another position there for a sell. Right now, price, yes, did break below that area, but you can see this formation of this bullish candle here. So for now, I will just wait. If we go to your hourly time frame as well as a day trader, we can see what's happening here. So what we're going to look for is the next bullish move. So especially on the 4-hour candle. So if the 4-hour candle, for example, the next strong bullish candle bearish candle, sorry, to form, that's towards the downside. Say if this goes up here, right, and then another bearish candle just comes and then goes all the way down and breaks below that area and closes below this 1674, 1678 area, then we'll be looking to take our sell trade just around there. Okay, and then our stop loss will just be above this area, and then our take profit will be down here. So we're looking at about 230 pips on that move. So we just need to wait. So if you're a swing trader, you may not want to rush into that market. You may just wait for this down move to play out before taking any trades at all. So if we go to the daily time frame, for example, you can decide that you're just going to wait for this to play out and price to get all the way here before looking for any other trade. Okay, and if price does get down to this area here, so one of two things can happen: either price bounces back to the upside, or price would break it and then continue its bearish move to the downside, which seems to be the most probable at this point. Okay, so but that will be us waiting for price to get to the 1615 area, but that's 1648 area is a key area where we would expect to see how price reacts to that, and that would give us an opportunity to enter into this market. So that's where I was saying that, okay, you know what, I'm looking for my reaction around this area. If price gives me a bullish signal here, then price could be bouncing to the upside. So I'll wait a little bit, okay, because my bias currently is mostly bearish. But you know, if price continues this up move, for example, like starts moving from here to the upside, I'll wait. I wouldn't rush to take into any sort of buy trades or anything like that. I'll just see what happens when price gets back into the zone and then look for sell opportunities. Okay. On the other hand, if price again comes and forms a strong bullish bearish candle that closes below this level here, right, closest to the downside, say around this level, then I'll be looking to take my my buy trades all the way to the downside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for gold. I am bearish, and this is how I will look to enter more position on this sell trade. Next, I'm going to talk about my analysis for Euro USD, and I'll start off with the weekly time frame and then work my way down to the 4-hour time frame. Now, on with Euro USD, as we mentioned earlier, or previously, that price again has been in this very strong downtrend. As you can see, the lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, and the bounce off this trend line, as well as this support area here. And that's what we're seeing on the weekly time frame. And we can see this past week closed more or less an indecision in this past week, following the previous week of strong bearish move. So right now they've been a very strong battle here, and the candle closed as a doji candle, so there was an indecision around that area. Now, if you go to the daily time frame, so we can see on the daily time frame what's happening here, that this area has been holding for the last few days, and price hasn't closed below this area here. And I predicted that this area would probably be quite a strong area, and the reason being is if we draw a Fibonacci retracement again using our Fib tool, we can see that that area is around the 61.8% Fibonacci level, so which is the golden ratio, and that's why price has failed to close below that. You know, market players could certainly put in a lot of sell trades and quickly break through that area, but because of how strongly this area have held on the daily time frame, the candle that breaks this zone here, that's around the 0.97 area, would be a very strong candle. And if the daily candle closes below that area, then you can expect price to continue all the way to the downside. All right. On the other hand, this up move may continue and price may get back into the zone as well. And from what I've said previously, especially in my last video, I am going to stay off Euro USD for now, because the only two areas that I personally am looking at is this zone here that I've drawn in this box here, okay, and then this zone down here as well. So this zone up here, if price gets into that area, okay, that will coincide with this trend line and also with this support of this resistance zone. And if price breaks above this zone strongly, okay, I'll be expecting that price most likely will continue to the upside. All right. On the other hand, if price gets to this area and gives us a bearish signal, then that's price close bearish down here with a very strong bearish candle, then we'll be looking to sell to the downside, okay, giving us this sort of double top pattern. All right, and then continuing the move to the downside as well. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is price continuing all the way to this support level here, and then we'll see what happens in the support level. If price bounces off that support level back up, forming this sort of double bottom pattern, or price breaking this level and then continuing its sell move. So one of these two things can happen. So that's why these two areas here are key for me, and I'll be waiting for price to get to one of those two areas before looking for a trade, because when price gets to one of those two areas, it's going to be a massive move, and we'll be looking to capitalize on that. So I wouldn't rush to trade Euro USD. I'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens as the days go by. And anytime price gets into one of these two zones, then we'll be looking to capitalize on the market. Again, hold on a minute. Don't rush to trade anything. Even if you go to the daily, the 4-hour time frame, is still the same thing. Price is still ranging a bit. There've been a lot of indecision, price moving up and down, and we're just going to wait to see if price either comes to the downside here or moves to the top. And when price does that, then we'll be looking to capitalize on that. And all this is even at a view or at a glance, you can see it on by this weekly candle here. So this doji candle shows that there is an indecision, that price doesn't know where it wants to go yet. There is no pure direction at this point in time. So that's why we have to wait and see what happens in the coming week. If whether price goes up into this area or price comes down into this area here. So we need to keep a close eye on it. Close eye on the 0.96 area one and the 0.99 area. So that's what generally what we're looking at, these two zones. So keep an eye on them, and then hopefully when the market resumes, we should be able to capitalize on it. So let me just point that out, 0.99. So that's one area that we're looking for. Okay, and the next one would be a 0.99 area there, and the other one would be the 0.96 down here. Okay, 0.96. So if price gets up into this zone here, again, like I said, it's going to be a massive move, because we will be looking at probably a 300 pip move to the downside when the double bottom candlestick forms. So let's just wait for this two candle to get to these two areas, and then we would we'll know what to do when price gets there. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about my analysis for GBP USD. Again, I'll look at the weekly time frame, and we'll work our way down to the 4-hour time frame. Now, on the weekly time frame, we can see that this is the previous low here, which has been broken. Price has gone up there to test it. Now it has gone there to test that area twice, and right now, again, price is still ranging, still an indecision candle. We're not sure where price wants to go to, but for me, as long as price has broken that level strongly and we're still in and around that support and resistance, I will be expecting a bearish move as well. Like, as you can see, price has been strongly bearish for GBP USD, and I still expect a little bit of a down move as well. Also, we can see on this candlestick here that price seems to be forming this sort of double top pattern. All right, so price got into this zone once, bounced off it, came back into that zone again, and now rejecting off it. So there are two ways to trade this. Okay, this double top pattern. There are two ways that we can trade it. Okay, you can trade it on the daily time frame. You can trade it on the 4-hour time frame. But the two key areas that we're looking out for is this zone that price has already bounced off. That's number one, and the neck of that double top pattern, which is around the 1.092 area, 1.093 area. All right, and we can trade that on the 4-hour time frame, as I mentioned. And the way we can do that is to wait for price to get down into this neck here, okay, where it's more or less a previous resistance area turns support, and now we wait for price to get down there. And if price breaks this level and closes below it, I'll wait for a retest and take our sell trade to the downside. Okay, that will be a very good trade if that happens. And if that happens, we should be looking for I would say about 400 pips on that move. So again, a very good trade. 480 pips, so almost 500 pips on that move. So a very good trade that we can capitalize on if that happens. Okay. On that more risky trade, I would say personally is to take it from the top. That's more or less entering immediately as the market opens. To take this trade here, risking more because you'll be risking about 400 pips, which for me doesn't make any sense. And then to gain about 700 pips on that move again. So that depends on you if you want to be patient to wait and see. Be more conservative so that you're risking less. Money in the market. And if it was the daily time frame, all you need to do on the daily time frame is more or less trade what we call the inside bar. Okay, so with the inside bar, this previous candle here, this bullish candle, is the mother bar. We can see how large it is, and this smaller candle here is, I'll call it the baby bar because it's completely engulfed by this previous candle. And if this big candle here was on the other side of this smaller candle, it would be an engulfing candle, but the opposite is an inside bar. So to trade the inside bar, more or less, what we're looking for is we're looking for a close or above or below the body of the inside of the smaller candle. Okay, so that means on the daily time frame, if the next daily candle closes below this level here, then you expect that price would most likely continue all the way to the downside. All right, and then you can take your sell move there. All right. So, but if price the next daily candle or any daily candle that closes above this candle, then you expect the price would most likely continue to the top. So you just hold on for now. But what I'm expecting for price to close below this candle and continue its bearish move to the downside. All right, that's for Gbpjpy, and that will just be in line with the long-term trend. As we can see, it's in a downtrend, and also it will be in line with this simple move of a break and retest to the downside. Okay, so that for me, it's a confirmation that price most likely will be bearish, and all I'm waiting for is to see the candle that where the direction in which price will break, whether it's above this box or below this box. Below this box, then I'll just enter my sell trade and take it all the way to the downside. Again, this has been my analysis for Gbpusd. Again, just like gold and Euro USD, my bias is strongly bearish. But again, it's just to wait for price to get to the zones that we expect price to get to and to do what we expect price to do. And if price does that, then we'll just be in a very good position to take our entry. And lastly, I'm going to talk about Gbpjpy. Again, from the weekly time frame and work my way down to the day, to the 4-hour time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we can see the price generally has been in the sort of range, but when you look at the long-term trade, you can see that it's been quite bullish, and that's why I would say if you're trading Gbpjpy, even though there will be some bearish move, only look for buy trades for now. And even if there is a retracement to the downside, just be looking for your buy trades anytime the opportunity arises. So on the daily time frame, we can see the price got down to this level here, which again it's a zone that we've marked out, and then price quickly bounced to the upside. So you can see the engulfing candle that was formed there, and followed by this very strong bullish move, and price just breaking through all these levels that we mapped out as well. And if you go to the 4-hour time frame, so we can see on 4-hour time frame that price still is in the uptrend, and forming these higher highs and higher lows. So you can see that this previous high was broken, and price has gone to the upside. So what I'm expecting again is for price to continue this up move. So you could have price getting all the way to this level here. You can have price getting all the way to this level here, which is more or less the top of the range, around the 168 area, and then we'll see what happens when price gets there, if price bounces to the upside or if price rejects again to the downside. And if price rejects again to the downside from here, all I would say is wait and see how price reacts to these previous levels, because it could just be a retracement for price to continue its up move. So I wouldn't rush to trade anything for now for Gbpjpy. So I would wait. We can draw our trend line here to connect. Once we draw our trend line, we can see if price ends up getting to this top level here and decides to bounce down, we'll see what happens with the trend line. If there is a break of the trend line, then price may continue to the downside. But if price gets to this trend line here, it may give us a signal to buy over there, and then we can see if we will take our buy trades to the top. All right. So generally, this has been my analysis for JPY and for the other pairs, gold, Euro USD, and GBP USD. Hope these videos have been very helpful. If it has, kindly leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to the channel for more analysis videos. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great week ahead. Peace.
I can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright.